The day I hired her, I didn't recognize her. Not at first. She walked into my office wearing a pale blue blouse, her hands folded neatly in front of her, her voice soft when she introduced herself. "I'm Sarah," she said. "Thank you for the opportunity." I remember nodding, offering a polite smile, the kind you give when you're too busy to look closely at people. But something about her felt familiar. Not her face exactly. More like a feeling. A quiet discomfort sitting just beneath the surface. I ignored it. I had bigger things to worry about. After all, I was still learning how to breathe in a life my husband had walked out of without warning. And the last thing I expected was that the woman standing in front of me, asking for a job, was the same one he had chosen over me. Before everything changed, my life was simple. Not perfect, but steady. My husband, Cameron, and I had been married for 18 years. We weren't the kind of couple who posted photos or celebrated loudly, but we had our rhythm. Morning tea together. Quiet dinners. Occasional disagreements about small things, nothing that ever felt like the end. I trusted him. Not blindly, but comfortably. And maybe that was my mistake. We didn't have children, but we had built something else together, a small consulting business that slowly grew over the years. I handled operations. He handled clients. We were a team. Or at least, I thought we were. Until one day, without much warning, he sat across from me at the dining table and said something that didn't feel real. "I think I need something different." Different. Such a small word, for something that destroys everything. Looking back, the signs were there. Late nights at the office that didn't feel like work. Messages he would read and quickly lock his phone after. A certain distance, not physical, but emotional. I remember one evening in particular. We were sitting in the living room, the TV playing softly in the background. I asked him something simple, what he wanted for dinner. He didn't answer immediately. He just stared ahead, like he hadn't heard me. "Cameron?" I said. He blinked, turned to me, forced a small smile. "Anything is fine." But it wasn't fine. Something had already shifted. And I felt it, even if I didn't fully understand it yet. Still, I told myself it was stress. Work pressure. Life. We always find reasons to protect what we're afraid to lose. The truth didn't come loudly. It came quietly. Like most painful things do. One afternoon, I went to his office to drop off some documents. His door was slightly open. I wasn't trying to listen. But I heard laughter. Soft, intimate laughter. The kind that doesn't belong in a professional space. I paused. And then I heard her voice. Young. Light. Unfamiliar. I stepped closer, just enough to see inside. And there she was. Sitting across from him. Leaning forward slightly. Looking at him in a way I hadn't seen in years. He looked different too. Lighter. Alive in a way that didn't include me. I didn't walk in. I didn't say anything. I just turned around and left. That night, I didn't ask him. I waited. Because deep down, I already knew. And when he finally spoke, days later, it wasn't a confession. It was a decision. "I've met someone," he said. Simple. Clean. Like he was discussing a business move. "I didn't plan it," he added. "But some things don't need planning. They just need willingness." "She's younger," he said quietly. "She makes me feel different." Different again. That word followed me like a shadow. I didn't cry in front of him. I just nodded. Because sometimes, dignity is the only thing you have left to hold on to. After he left, the house felt unfamiliar. Not empty, just unfamiliar. Like the walls had witnessed something I hadn't fully processed yet. For weeks, I moved through life quietly. I went to work, handled clients, answered emails, smiled when necessary. And slowly, something inside me began to change. Not anger. Not even sadness. Just clarity. I realized something important. I had spent years building a life that didn't actually depend on him. The business? It was mostly mine. The structure, the systems, the relationships, I had carried more than I ever admitted. So I leaned into that. Expanded the company. Took on new clients. And eventually, I needed help. An assistant. Someone organized. Reliable. I posted the job. Reviewed applications. And then, she walked into my office. It took me 3 days to realize who she was. 3 days of watching her. Her mannerisms. The way she spoke. And then one small detail, a photo that appeared briefly on her phone screen when she thought no one was looking. Cameron. Smiling. Standing beside her. My breath caught. But I didn't react. I didn't confront her. Instead, I observed. She didn't know who I was. Not really. To her, I was just her boss. That realization stayed with me longer than I expected. One afternoon, I called her into my office. "Sit," I said gently. She smiled, slightly nervous. "Am I doing okay?" she asked. I studied her face. Young. Hopeful. Unaware. "You're doing fine," I said. There was a pause. Then I asked, "Are you happy?" She seemed surprised by the question. "I think so," she said. "Why?" I didn't answer immediately. Because I wasn't sure what I wanted to say. In that moment, I realized something. Revenge doesn't always look like destruction. Sometimes, it looks like truth. A week later, Cameron came to the office. He didn't expect to see her there. And she didn't expect to see me standing beside him. The silence that followed was heavy. Confusing. Unavoidable. "You work here?" she asked him, her voice uncertain. He looked at me. Then at her. And in that moment, everything became clear. Not through shouting. Not through accusations. Just reality. "I think you both deserve honesty," I said calmly. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't accuse. I simply told the truth. Who I was. What our history was. And what choices had been made. Sarah didn't cry. Not immediately. She just sat there, processing. The same way I had. And Cameron? He looked smaller than I remembered. Not because I had changed him. But because the illusion had faded. That day, I didn't lose anything. I let go of something that had already left me. I still run my business. The office feels lighter now. Quieter, but honest. Sarah didn't stay long after that. And Cameron? He stopped coming around completely. Not because I pushed him away. But because there was nothing left for him to hold on to. Sometimes, life doesn't give you the chance to fight back loudly. Sometimes, it gives you something better. Perspective. Strength. And the ability to stand in your truth without breaking. I didn't plan revenge. I didn't need to. Because in the end, truth has a way of finding its own moment. So tell me, if you were in my place, would you have exposed the truth? Or quietly walked away like nothing ever happened? Before I go, I want to ask you something honestly. If you were in my place, would you have stayed silent? Or told the truth, even if it changed everything? Sometimes we carry stories like this inside us for years. Things we never say out loud. If this story felt even a little close to your heart, I'd really like you to share your thoughts. You don't have to write something perfect. Just write what you feel. Because your story matters too. And I promise, I read your comments. If you believe in stories like this, real, honest, and from the heart, then don't forget to like this video. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. It truly means more than you think. Thank you for watching. Take care of your heart. And I'll see you in the next story.